Good evening, all. So Celtic have finally put out a statement. We'll just wait on everybody to jump on the live. Celtic have finally put out a statement about our brand new goalkeeper. Yes, Celtic put out a YouTube video and a statement from the manager. There we go. That's us on. We're live. Share it with all your friends. Get everyone on. It is an impromptu live, but I did say this afternoon that if if Celtic put out any statement, I'd be live. True to my word, I am live. So if you're in the comment section, say hi. I'm going to read the statement that came out from Celtic. Celtic Football Club is delighted to announce the signing of Finland international goalkeeper Sinisalo from the English Premier League side. Just turn this one down. I'm getting feedback. Sean says hi. Who really cares? Says hi, Baz. Matt's no leaving. Says Liam. He maybe not leaving, but why are we looking at a player that I would suggest would be a direct replacement? Anyway, let's talk about this first of all. Let's talk about the fact that we have signed a goalkeeper. Speaking to Celtic TV after signing the Scottish champions, Sinisalo said, "I know Celtic are a huge football club. It's really exciting to be part of something big. It feels amazing." The 22-year-old Finnish keeper came through the ranks at Aston Villa, and it was interesting to know that he'd been working with Gary Caldwell. He played 50 games with Gary Caldwell. And it was also interesting in the video, it was also interested in the video that he said that he's glad to get this one over the line because it had been in talks for a while. Brendan Rodgers then said today to Celtic TV, he said, "I'm delighted to welcome Villiers to Celtic. He's a keeper with real qualities, someone we've been aware of and monitored for some time. Celtic clearly looking forward to develop our goalkeeping team, and we're really pleased to have secured one of the talented keepers we really wanted." Is Brendan Rodgers getting his own way at Celtic, and is he laying the foundations for plans for years to come? Second prize, he's a winger. Lanky. If you go on to transfermarket.com, he's a left winger, he's a right winger, and he's a second striker. So he's not just a left winger. But even if he is all of that, I think that he could come in and be Matt O'Reilly's replacement. If he's a winger, do we really need more wingers at Celtic? What does that say for the likes of Yang? What does that say for the likes of Yang at Celtic? Surely his time must be up. Surely, God, his time must be up. I'm getting messages coming through. I'm just going to check this. What? No, it's a fucking picture of the rain back home. Fuck off, mum. Jesus, your mum phone messages say, "Spending 1 million on 2 goalkeepers. Wow, that's fantastic business," says Lanky. Lanky, how is it not good business? Prophet of Doom, how is it not good business? When you see the fact that Celtic have been monitoring this guy for a while, someone that Celtic have been monitoring for a while, Gary Caldwell was his manager last season. He played 50 games. He got player of the season for them. He's one that Celtic wanted to develop into a full international player. I don't see what's wrong with it myself. And I think that if people think that going out and spending 8 or 9 million on a goalkeeper is the right thing to do, well, we did it with Barkas before, and that didn't work out too well. The thing that as soon as we get in Schmeichel and get the Schmeichel one over the line, I think that'll be a fantastic bit of business for Celtic. Anyway, let's jump into the comments and see what you're all saying to it this evening. Miles says that Matt's not leaving. Hail, hail. Baz says Jamie. What's up, hail, hail? Nice and sunny this morning. There's nothing to care, Mum. I thought the Belgian lad was a winger. Yes, he is a winger. He can play in 3 different positions. He can play left wing, right wing, and as a second striker. Are we seriously going to go and spend 9 million? Are Celtic going to spend 9 million on a winger? Who does he replace? And we know that James Forrest came in and done a fantastic bit of business towards the end of the season. But for me, it means that let's say they're going to. I mean, it's the current the current crop of wingers that we have and the amount of wingers that we have, there's a few of them going to be unhappy and there's a few of them going to be showing the door very soon if this is the case. Anyway, let's get back to the comments section. I'm not staying on too long tonight because my throat is still killing me. A player can agree a deal with the club, but doesn't necessarily mean he's going to just come down to the club's if he gets the go-ahead. Yep, that's true concerning that deal. Evening Barry, Paul Burrell from Glasgow, Scotland. Hail, Paul. John's in the house. John Boyce says, any word on Ida coming yet? Nope. I think we need to wait to see if Ida's on that plane that left to go to America. Celtic were very clever. I thought it was very clever that they give it out to one publication. They sent out their photographs to one publication, knowing that it would go all over Twitter, and they released a picture of the goalkeeper before putting anything out on social medias. Now, you're not telling me that the social media guys were sitting back home, putting all this stuff together, and then getting it edited. It doesn't take that long to edit that type of video. Jesus, you can edit that type of video in about half an hour. So for me, it was all scheduled to go out at 9 o'clock European time, 8 o'clock Celtic Park time. I think it went out, and I think it's very clever the way that Celtic are playing the game to make sure that they grab the headlines for tomorrow morning's papers. That's what that's doing. It is just making sure that they. And Mum, go and bugger off. Anyway, Celtic open talks to sign Michel-Ange Mark II. Celtic have entered discussions with Royal Antwerp winger representatives of a potential deal, according to Belgian journalists. With 3 more deals already close. He netted 5 goals, registering 5 assists and 23 appearances in the Pro Belgian League. He did win the Pro Belgian League. He's also won the Belgian Cup, and he's won the Belgian Super Cup. So he knows what it's like to win things. Is he going to be a good deal for Celtic? The young lad who was born on the 10th of May 2001, 23-year-old. He fits the age range of everything that Celtic seem to be doing. And if you notice that the manager seems to be getting everyone in and around the same age bracket so that they can grow together as a team, which I think is going to be fantastic. And if they can keep the team together for 3 or 4 years, you never know what could happen. I'm not getting notifications, says Carly. I don't know how that is. The new tracksuit looks stunning with the players wearing it. It does that. That's my brother saying his Baz. Can you give me a shout out for my dad, Robert Slavin? Robert Slavin, there you go. Big shout out to Robert Slavin. Charge for that. The Belgian winger is fantastic. Direct player. Take a look at YouTube. Michel-Ange. Don't fancy putting his name on the back of that shirt? Nope. I just think they'll put Ange. John, how are you? How's Kev? I was meant to speak to him the other night, but I got caught up in all the hurrah. Tears are still going down well. Or is it English ones? It's a combination, isn't it? Liam, the redemption of Ange. Oh my God, the redemption of Ange. Good evening, Baz and Troops. Great to see some positive move within the transfers. Hopefully a lot more to come. Well, there's going to be a lot more because Celtic have sneaked a few folk onto the flight. They were very, very clever the way they done it today. They got the guys up. There was a rumour going around yesterday, that Adam Ida was getting a flight from Norwich up to Glasgow first thing this morning, although it hasn't been confirmed by the club as yet. But you can see that the way the club are doing things, they're keeping it close quarters and they're doing it on their terms, and they're letting out information to the media bit by bit, and then they're drip feeding it, getting people excited, and then releasing the statement and YouTube video at the exact same time. Bernardo and Ida will hopefully complete tonight, if not tomorrow morning. We need quality centre back to play with CCV. It's interesting that the manager is wanting another winger in, because let's face it, the wingers last season we ended up going back to rely on James Forrest, and everyone. If you had ever, no one would have suggested at the beginning of the season that James Forrest would be the player to help get us over the line. James Forrest, with all the younger wingers that came in, you would never thought that it was James Forrest that would be the go-to man for Brendan Rodgers towards the end of the season. Brendan Rodgers does look as if he's trying to build a younger team that can last. Something that Celtic did really under. Well, you could say that Lennon kind of started it, and even before Lennon, you could say Strachan started it. Gordon Strachan started it when he brought in Scott Brown from Hibs. Are Celtic going down that route again to try and get the nucleus of squad that will be here for 3 or 4 years? 3 or 4 years. The fact that they've signed this goalkeeper on a 5-year deal says that they really, really value him. And especially at that age, that means that the time that he comes around for a contract renewal, he should hopefully be worth a lot more money and he'll be a first team star. Anyway, let's move on to the comments section. Lanky says, it's good to see young Turley going to America. Definitely want to watch. Has there been a list of all the young ones that went to America yet? I've never seen anything. Stuart Ramsey's in the house. Evening, Baz. Late tonight. Made to go to the shop. It's all right. I was late tonight coming on and just thought Celtic have finally made an announcement, so I really need to jump on live, don't I? Hi for Bedfordshire, says Gareth. Lanky, it's only me that thinks that Bernardo is plays like Petrov. That's an interesting one, Lanky. That is interesting, because if he does play like Petrov, it means that we won't need to rely on Callum McGregor as much. And if we do lose Matt O'Reilly and this winger comes in, we've got a replacement in Bernardo that could go on and you're wanting players that want to play for the club for a few years. And although Matt O'Reilly, the speculation will not go away, I still personally think that Celtic don't want to sign him, don't want to lose him. Hence the reason they're putting a 30 million price tag on him. You can have clubs coming in and saying they want to pay whatever, but I still think that Matt O'Reilly will be a Celtic player come the end of the season. A few folk said in the comments that I was absolutely stupid if you thought that Celtic will not sell Matt O'Reilly. If this board wants to keep Brendan Rodgers and Brendan Rodgers happy, he knows that he has to keep the likes of Matt O'Reilly. And he said to the board, look at it this way, Matt O'Reilly has turned around and said to the board, the players that you brought in last season were shite. Simple as that. The players that you brought in last season were not good enough. Yes, I signed them off after they were paraded, they were given the go-ahead by Ange. Because let's face it, all the transfer would have been done before the end of the season. All the targets would have been signed off by Ange, would have been looked at by Ange and said, right, this is the players that we're going to go for in the summer. So when the team finishes and the manager goes on holiday for a week or two, everyone knows that when they come back and they get straight into it, they know who they're going to target and they know who they're going to get as players. Brendan Rodgers then walks in after Ange walks away, and let's face it, he just went, right, okay, if these are the players that the last manager thought were going to do a job, we'll take them. Simple as that. It took not far into the season for the manager to go, these players aren't good enough. They're just not good enough. You know, and he spoke about it many times. He spoke about it in the last third. Maybe that's why he's wanting another winger. And you never know. He could play as a second striker. Gives us that other option that he can play just behind Kyogo or Adam Ida. But you never know. Will we get the two of them? Will Celtic spend 6 million on Adam Ida? Will Celtic spend 9 million on Ange, the Belgian? Ange the Belgian. He was born in Genk. Yeah, there you go. And we just sold a player. Right, anyway, what other Celtic news is kicking around this evening? We'll jump back into the comments section first and see what you rowdy lot are saying. Do we need a left back, says Slavin. Yes, if you think that we're going to go into the season again just with no cover at left back, you never know. You never know. Maybe one of the younger guys that are coming through the system can step up to the mark. Maybe the manager has seen something and one of the younger guys that could step into the left back. But playing the full season again with Greg Taylor and Greg Taylor only, no one pushing Greg Taylor. Alexandro Bernabe has been moved on by the club. until December. The club that he is with hasn't played him much, so they're now looking to get Bernabeu at another club in South America. Doesn't look like he's going to be coming back to Celtic anytime soon. So with that being said, it does look it's absolutely pissing down back home, isn't it? I'm now seeing weather on Sky Sports. For God's sake. What happened to summer? What happened to summer? Ida is on the flight with his new employers, says Carly. Well, I seen that picture that Adam Ida put up, and he put it up about half an hour. Well, it was about the same time that the Celtic flight was taken off. There has to be a correlation. There's no way is the Norwich flight taken off at the exact same time. If you ask me, Celtic flew him up on a private jet this morning. They got the deal done and dusted. They're waiting on getting some paperwork done and dusted. They know that they're off to America. They wanted the players in. The manager said he wanted 2 or 3 players in before we went to America. It looks like we've got it. Looks like Schmeichel will catch up. If Schmeichel isn't on that plane as well, I mean, it was suggested that he would pass his medical on Tuesday or Wednesday. Why would he pass his medical on Wednesday and then get his own flight out to America? Surely he would be one of the ones that was also put on the plane this morning or this afternoon. It's sunny here in Glasgow. Sunny, it's pitch black here. 9 o'clock back home. Yeah, it's pitch black here. How do you know it's sunny? Stuart says, sorry, Baz, but if someone offers 25, then Lowell will tell O'Reilly he can go no matter what O'Reilly or Brendan Rodgers says Stuart. I can't wait to the end of this transfer window because I think it's going to be one of the most exciting ones ever. If we manage to hold on to Matt O'Reilly up until deadline day, I will be doing a live till 1 o'clock in the morning until it's done and dusted, just to make sure that Celtic and I hope he does stay. I hope he does stay, and I think that the club know if a club comes in and offers over 25 million, yes, Celtic will go. But I think that Brendan Rodgers has turned around and he spoke to the player and he spoke to the board and he said, look, if you have any ambition at all in Europe, he's done a Braveheart thing in the boardroom. He said, if you have any ambition at all in Europe, we need to get in a winger. We need to get in a striker. We need to get in Paulo Bernardo. We need to get in a left back. We need to get in 2 goalkeepers because the goalkeepers that are at Celtic are not good enough. Benji Siegrist has got one eye on Australia. Scott Bain's here for the... What's Scott Bain here for again? What's Scott Bain here? Scott Bain's... Has he not picked up his pension yet? Anyway, Brendan Rodgers would have went in and said, we need players to come in. We do not need to sell anyone. If we sell Matt O'Reilly, we're going backwards. He's a player that was wanted by Atletico Madrid, one of the top teams in Spain, and one of the top teams in Europe as far as I'm concerned. But you're going to get all these other little teams that are going to go, yeah, well, we're going to come in for him. We're going to come in for Matt O'Reilly and we're going to put in a silly little offer. I, for one, think that Matt O'Reilly, if he does go, I mean, you could say, right, he can go to Atlanta. He can go to Atlanta. They're in the Champions League. Unless Atlanta come up with a £30 million offer, not a chance. Bain's the biggest wage thief since bitten. I'd say that was James McCarthy. Lanky says, can you remember a few weeks back I said we normally bring in players in mid-July? Yes, you did, Lanky. Remember Caspel's arrival will keep O'Reilly at Celtic. Big Dom, I said that in a video a couple of days ago. I said I think that's a bit of an ingenious move by Celtic, considering he is the national captain. He doesn't look like he's going to be retiring anytime soon. And I think if he gets Matt O'Reilly at that level, if he brings in Kasper Schmeichel, it's a fantastic move for Celtic. And it's a good way of the national coach getting an insight into Matt O'Reilly on a weekly basis. Brendan Rodgers isn't stupid. Brendan Rodgers knows how international football works. He will know that Matt O'Reilly will want to be a top international player. The best way to do that is bring in one of his international colleagues who's in the first team, who is the captain, and that he knows very well. You know, and it's one of the easiest ways for them to see how good he can perform on a weekly basis and in the Champions League. It's a massive season for Matt O'Reilly, and I think Matt O'Reilly will pay a lot of... He won't be in too much a rush to move. And when you look into the mindset of Matt O'Reilly's quite a deep thinking guy. You've got to remember, Matt O'Reilly's got a mindset coach, a guru from India. I'm not even going to do that. He's got a mindset coach in India, and he went over to India during the summer to catch up with them, to meet them and sit and meditate and stuff. Matt O'Reilly's right into meditation. And I think Matt O'Reilly will say, do you know what? I've got a lot to give to Celtic because Celtic picked me up when no one else really took a chance. You know, he went to MK Dons. He walked out on Fulham. He went to MK Dons. He didn't have a team for 6 months, and then he went to MK Dons. Celtic knew that he had the 1.5 million clause. They went in and got him. He didn't like Ange. That was well more than apparent when Brendan Rodgers came in. It was more than apparent that he didn't like the way that Ange did training and stuff. That was the beginning of last season. That was more than apparent that he didn't like Ange. And this nonsense that Ange is going to come in for him was way off the mark, if you ask me. I think the player would turn him down. But I think his mindset will be, I want a chance. I want a crack at the Champions League with Celtic. I want to pay back. Listen, it's like saying Celtic could have had 15 million for Henrik Larsson, but we didn't sell him. And Henrik Larsson didn't want to go to Manchester United. Why do you think that? I think Matt O'Reilly is the same kind of level-headed person as what Henrik Larsson was. And I think he knows that if he can give back to Celtic just one more season, one good season in the Champions League, make a go of it, and then move on the next summer. That's probably the conversation that's had between Brendan and O'Reilly. He's probably sat and said, look, if you can give us one good season in the Champions League, you can have your pick of teams, top level teams in Europe. Never mind your Aston Villas, never mind your bottom half league teams in England. Never mind, Atlanta finished fourth in Italy, but you're going to have the top of the top level teams coming in for Matt O'Reilly with a big offer, and Celtic will take it then. If he's going to be sold, I think it'll probably be the Christmas window. If we can hold on to him until Christmas, it'll be a fantastic deal for Celtic. Anyway, let's jump back into the comments. It'll be done. It will be done. He's off. O'Reilly stays till January. It's a win-win. Yep, San Francisco Celtic. I just said that. Celtic don't have to sell O'Reilly. He's just going to improve over the next few years. I think Brendan Rodgers will know how much more Matt O'Reilly can improve as a player. Man, you've got to remember, Brendan Rodgers was manager at Liverpool at one time, and he had Suarez at Liverpool, and he turned Suarez into a fucking player and a half. He turned Suarez into a player and a half. If he can do the same with Matt O'Reilly, it's Matt O'Reilly's going to have the pick of the bunch. Anyway, John Paul says, if the money is right, the whole team is for sale. That's the facts, says John Paul, Glasgow. Oh, dear. I think Matt O'Reilly wants to be here for the 55th title. Yes, exactly, Carly. You know it, and I know it. He wants to be a history maker with Celtic. There's certain points that you'll be forever known as a Celtic great. He's never going to be here for 9 in a row if we do 9 in a row for the third time, right? You can win doubles, you can win trebles as a player. You know that you're not really remembered for that. But if he hit the 55 this season, he'll be remembered as the team who won the 55th title and came level. And then if we win the double or a treble this year, if we win a double, we have won more trophies than the South Koreans think that they have won. Anyway, Matt's granny watches. I hope she does. Lanky, start of last season, I said Brendan will get a tune out of Matt and turn him to be like James Maddison. I just think he's still got a year's progression until he gets to that type of level. But, Lanky, I totally get what you're saying. Anyway, the big news is tonight that Celtic have confirmed, after my video this afternoon, Celtic have confirmed, well, it wasn't really big news because Celtic leaked. I love it the way that they leaked out pictures and tried to make it look as if it was some sniper or a photographer miles away, but then you get a picture when they're actually walking up the stairs into the plane. Celtic Football Club are delighted to announce the signing of Finland international goalkeeper. We've signed an international goalkeeper, and some people aren't happy. If we sign 2 international goalkeepers, people will complain. It's only £1 million. It's only £1 million. Which then suggests that no one at Celtic knows what they're doing. Brendan Rodgers said we have clearly been looking to develop our goalkeeping team. We are really pleased to have secured one of the talented keepers we really wanted. He was working with Gary Caldwell for the full of last season. He played 50 games under Gary Caldwell. He got player of the season for the team. He's a fantastic goalkeeper that is only going to get better. After a year of coaching with the one and only Kasper Schmeichel at Celtic and the fantastic goalkeeping coach we have at Celtic, Celtic expect him to be the number one goalkeeper for years to come. Anyway, that is that. I thought it was really interesting that he did work with Gary Caldwell, and so you could see the Celtic link straight away, because you know that the Celtic scouts will be talking to Gary Caldwell, and you don't even know that Brendan Rodgers has probably been on the phone to Gary Caldwell asking how he was doing all last season. Carly says, definitely believe that Matt will want to be part of the 55th title. What do you think about that? I ken, you ken it, even Patsy kens it, Jamesy boy. Oh, I had to get that one in, didn't it? There you go. Only Celtic greats will be remembered are the ones that leave for over 30 million. I don't think so. 55th and a treble sounds excellent. I think that will happen this season. And if you're a betting man at all, if you're a betting person at all, put a bet on Celtic to win the treble. Put a bet on before a ball was kicked for Celtic to win the treble next season. Ida just posted a picture of him in economy class in Aer Lingus. It's happening. No, he didn't. I'm going to go on his Instagram just now. Ah, Jesus. Aramida. Nope, he didn't. 6 hours ago. 6 hours ago, and I still say that that's Glasgow Airport. That looks as if it's Erskine over the back. That's him looking towards Erskine. That's him leaving. That's him on that flight. That's the bus, isn't it? That's the bus heading out to the aeroplane. Anyway, Adam Ida's not put anything more on, which would mean that he's probably still on that flight with Celtic. Let me see, Alistair Johnson, 1 hour ago. Oh, look, there's Alistair Johnson on his Instagram with his missus. I don't know where he is. Must be back in Scotland. Oh, how cute. How cute. Celtic, and then the goalkeeper, Aaron Moy. What's Aaron Moy doing? Let's do this one. Aaron Moy's out with his family. Mind about Aaron Moy? He was a player that left too quick. Anyway, right, Celtic news so far full of shit. Every Celtic news so far full of shit, says Tarmac. That is terrible. You saying that this channel's full of shit, Tarmac? Absolutely is. Nudge stories. Baz, let's be honest, he won't go to warm the bench. Some so-called Euro giant, a clever young man. Just look at it. His football journey he's not ready to go. If he wasn't ready to go, he played 50 first team games last season. He knows that if he's coming in as number two, he's coming in as number two for one season. He knows that he'll be Celtic number one. I'll believe it when I see a picture of Lowell handing out the homemade sandwiches. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, there's been over 1,162 people on the live. Never Baz. Cheers to him, Mark. Yeah, there is a lot of nonsense stories go out there. That's why I don't go with all of them. Anyone been listening to the Hun meltdowns and panic stations? Fucking class. No, Carly, but I think I will tomorrow, and I think we need to do a little meltdown video. We've never done a meltdown video for a while, and now that my throat's getting better, after my little man flu epidemic, it's I think we'll do a meltdown video tomorrow afternoon at some point. Anyway, on that note, it's been absolutely fantastic. It's been over 1,174 people watched the video this live. There is 86 thumbs up. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video. And on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. Forever and ever.